Why is it actually possibly good to know more than one programming language?
Python and JavaScript. I think those are my two strongest ones.
Okay. You got your React and you got your Angular and you so on. Like any particular one that, why so many? Why so many languages?
I think it's because I like to torture myself.
Yeah. So Tyler, I wanted to sit down and talk multiple languages and tech stacks because obviously this is something that I think you know pretty well.
Yeah.
So what are some of the languages, if you can give us a good list, that you would say you're comfortable in? And then let's follow that up with what's a list of stuff that you've like dabbled in. So what's you most comfortable in and what do you dabble in?
Of course. So I would say I'm most comfortable in Python and JavaScript. I think those are my two strongest ones, which is a good thing. They're like the most popular languages nowadays. I am really comfortable with Go. And then I've also dabbled in, I'm also really good at PHP as well. And then
yeah, you are.
Yeah. And then let's see. I've done stuff in Haskell. I've dabbled in many different languages like OCaml and all that stuff, like in Lisp.
Lisp.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm pretty curious. So my list is pretty long.
Okay. So Python and then JavaScript, any particular flavor? Because obviously when you're talking JS libraries, you got your React and you got your Angular and you so on. Like any particular one that you would say JavaScript, or is it just in general?
Just in general, like I think my favorite flavor of JavaScript in general is TypeScript. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Sweet. Very cool. So why so many? Why so many languages?
I think it's because I like to torture myself.
Yeah.
But in all seriousness, I really think it's because I'm a curious person and I like to think differently. Yeah.
Okay.
So.
And from a kind of programmatic perspective, when you're there developing and building projects, why is it actually possibly good to know more than one programming language?
I think the main benefit of learning a different programming language or multiple, the main one is you learn to think in a different way or in a different paradigm. Whereas like if you're working in a functional programming language, that can massively differ from an object-oriented programming languages. So you kind of learn a different paradigm, and it's just a different way of doing something, like performing a task, essentially.
Right. Because there may be multiple roads to get to a destination, and so being able to travel those different paths might be more beneficial for a specific project.
Yeah. Okay. And it just depends on the context too. So if one way might work better than a different way. It just depends.
Gotcha. And so with all these languages, obviously, I mean, you rattled off quite a few. We didn't even start to scrape the surface of all the different, languages and tech stacks and libraries and different things that people are using. There's so many of them out there. Do you think that's a good thing? Do you think that's a bad thing? Like what? What do you think? Is it good or bad to have that many languages floating out in the world?
There's a lot of people, especially in the JavaScript ecosystem, where people talk a lot about JavaScript fatigue because there's so a new framework popping up every week. In my opinion, I think it's a really beneficial thing because there's so many options to choose from, and people can actually use something that benefits them or their different use case or what have you. So they just, there's so many different options out there and flavors and stuff like that. I think that could be a good thing.
Gotcha. And what are some of those benefits that maybe it's, it's based off of a language that they already kind of know, or a way of thinking, or is it scalability? Like what you said, kind of there's different benefits of maybe using a particular library.
Yeah, I'd say a little bit of both. It could be just, it could align with a way of thinking. It could be that particular language or framework solves their problem versus another solution. So, it kind of depends on the use case and the developer.
Cool. So when you're out there, because you're obviously always, posting up something in our Slack channel about, oh, hey, I tried out this new library, or here's this new language that I'm looking into, or so on and so forth. What are you looking for in a new language? Like, what makes you want to learn that? Because I'm sure you're looking at a lot more than you even talk to us about. So what excites you and makes you want to actually learn a particular language?
That's a tough one. I think one of my favorite languages is Go.
Okay.
And when I started learning that language, one of the my favorite things about that language was its simplicity and its practicality. So that's kind of the thing I'm looking for. I'm not really looking for like shininess, like I'm not looking for like the next hot thing. It's just, it's kind of, is this practical? Is this going to make me productive in what I'm going to do? Does this solve my use case? Just things like that. Yeah.
Gotcha. It's the bass player of the band.
Yeah.
You're there. It's got to work and lay the foundation. It doesn't have to be the lead singer flashy in the front.
Yeah.
I get that. No, that makes sense. Is there anything exciting that you've like built in Go that you want to talk about, or I don't know, just fun projects that you're doing? Because you said you love that. Do you build side projects in Go a lot?
Yeah, I think the main thing I've built with them was bots.
Bots,
like Slack bots and
okay,
bots. Yeah. So that's fun.
Okay.
I'm actually working on a project now, like on the side that's more DevOps related. For Bixley too. So yeah, I definitely use that there. We've actually have used Go in production for a specific project that handles like a lot of concurrent web traffic and stuff. So yeah, definitely. It's kind of nice to say that we've used Go for production.
Yeah, so. It is helpful. I know it's definitely brought some interest our way from marketing stuff to be able to just say, yeah, we're familiar with that. We have people that have used it. And so if you're looking to, again, handle a high volume of traffic, we can definitely help you out with Go. So that's cool. Anything else as far as tech languages, things that are exciting, or better yet, if there's someone that maybe has found themselves stuck in a particular language and is looking to go learn something new, what's your first piece of advice for them, how they can jump out and kind of learn something new? What gets them unstuck? What breaks them out of the normal?
I don't know. I would say that the try to like understand the language that you're using day to day, and then maybe branch out and learn that language. Sometimes it might be helpful to think in a different way, and then come back to the language you work on and bring those concepts over to the language you're working on. Yeah. Like for example, if you use Haskell, you can probably bring those functional concepts and bring it over and write, functional JavaScript and stuff like that. Yeah.
That was extremely enlightening. I like that.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I appreciate you taking some time with us. I would say, obviously, to anyone, that is in this space or even just new to the space, don't get, stuck in some particular language. But again, branch out, try and find what works well for you, what clicks. And then as you so eloquently put, go look to other stuff to even build back on what you already know. Yeah. So cool.
Right.
I appreciate it, Tyler.
All right.
Thanks, dude.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of Bixley Tech Tuesday, all about the benefits of learning more than one programming language. Tyler definitely has spent a lot of time developing his curiosity and learning on his free time a ton of different stuff. And I think he really shared some of the benefits that you get from that. And don't forget to check out the links down below in our description. You can find our custom software guide, which is completely free, and will walk you through the journey of figuring out how to develop your own application. And on top of that, you can check out our website, bixley.com. There's even a button there where you can sign up for a free app validation meeting with Chris to talk about your app idea.